A retro medieval setting with swords, magic, and giant laser cannons? The spiritual successor to Crusader's Quest is none other than Goddess Order, and somehow this game has slipped past most of our radars, including my own. And my question is, why? Goddess Order is a 2D side-scrolling action combat RPG with tag team mechanics and pixel graphics. The global version launched on September 24th, where they are impressively kicking things off with a HoloLive collab. Now, as usual with my sponsored reviews for Gacha games, my objective is to provide you with an honest review based on my experience along with a quick introduction to the game, the combat, the characters, the gameplay, and of course, the gacha and whether or not it appears to be free-to-play friendly. Goddess Order is developed by Pixel Tribe, and its pixel graphics might look familiar to those of you gacha boomers like myself who religiously played Crusader's Quest way back in the day. Being founded by many of the core developers from Crusader's Quest and being published by Cow Games, and also launching with a big name collab like HoloLive, I personally have high expectations for the future of Goddess Order. Speaking of which, you can use my link down below to check out Goddess Order, where you'll get the pre-registration rewards which include 10 polls and the SR Knight Tia, and don't worry, you'll still get all the pre-registration rewards even if you didn't pre-register. Goddess Order's atmosphere successfully sets its medieval swords and magic theme with its environmental sprite work and music as well. As you explore its world with Sia, I believe an AI goddess-fueled robot thing, collecting ink to rewrite history to affect the prophecies of the future. The story is engaging enough as there's a solid amount of voice acting and a decent variety of story presentation. You play as the heroic princess, Lisbeth, along with her squad of the very serious and stoic Violet and this thing. And with the three of them, you form your legendary Knight Order, destined to save the world, named Potato. The Potato Knights will surely embark on their own hero's journey, as they travel through the past and present to save a world where the goddess has fallen. Now, I'm not much of a story buff, so hopefully I got most of that right, but my expertise is on sword battling and gacha-ing, so let's get on over to that. Combat is what I found most surprising about Goddess Order. Being a free-to-play mobile game, I expected it to be like most of them out there, with auto-play, auto-combat, auto-farm, auto-snooze, but Goddess Order is quite the opposite of that, where the entire game is almost all manual play. You fight with your squad of 3 knights, where your knights have quite an extensive move pool, consisting of normal attacks, hold attacks, specials, link skills, counters, and ultimates. And there are multiple conditions and variations for each of these abilities for every single character. So yeah, even in just the move pools, each character has a surprising amount of depth. You can also block and parry enemy attacks and dash to dodge enemy attacks as well. Goddess Order also has a unique link system, similar to QTE and other games, where you build up your link gauge and then link to the next character. The incoming character will do the expected link attack, but what makes this system unique is that the previous character will actually stay on field and continue attacking the enemy for a certain amount of time. As such, you can properly link your team to provide the maximum amount of buffs, debuffs, stuns, and damage, and most importantly, have all 3 of your characters on field attacking the enemy. Then we have ultimates, which other characters that are linked on field will also perform their linked ultimates, leading to, in an ideal scenario, up to 9 effective ultimates casted in quick succession. Not only that, but many abilities appear to be swap cancelable, allowing for additional skill expression and depth to combat in Goddess Order. Of course, I've only barely scratched the surface, but the combat mechanics look very promising and provide a good mix of challenge and skill expression. I was quite impressed with what they managed to squeeze in here given its 2D environment and mobile platform. Each character also has their own class, which highlights what their main role in combat is. For example, the eclectic princess Lisbeth is of the fighter class, who you keep on field for prolonged amounts of time to beat down her enemies. Meanwhile, my favorite character in combat so far, Letitia, is a slayer, who specializes in dealing big nuke damage when it matters. Letitia can summon a bunch of lightning clouds, where using her skill will cause all of them to simultaneously zap the enemy. Next we have Breakers, whose job is to, well, break the enemy's stun meter to stun them. After that, Tricksters, whose main focus is to apply debuffs like shock and freeze to the enemy. Finally, there's the supporter class, which focuses on buffing and healing your team. There's also an elemental weakness system with 5 elements, which I'm assuming works like an elemental wheel. You know how water, tends to beat fire, and each character also has their own principle, which from what I've seen mainly just affects team building. Speaking of which, Goddess Order's team building synergies are encouraged through character solidarity skills, which is activated based on who else is in the team. For example, Electric Letitia enjoys being with other electric individuals or a trickster to gain an 8% buff to her attack stat. As we can see, the system lays the groundwork for a surprisingly deep and engaging combat system, where mechanics matter, team building matters, and skill matters, as you explore the world of Goddess Order. But while combat mechanics might be important to us gamers, what about for the gotta catch 'em all types? Let's take a look at the characters we can collect. The character design in this game is peppy and upbeat without much fan service. We've got the main free-to-play gang with Lisbeth, Viola, and Jan, and we've got some of the characters obtained through the gacha, like my girl Letitia, as well as the electric breaker Roan, who currently is the only SSR husbando. Speaking of male characters, there are definitely a lot more female characters, with I believe only 5 out of the 21 playable characters being male. Still, there are male characters for those of you who enjoy that kind of thing. In terms of character design diversity, it's mostly knight waifu characters who, I might add, appear to actually be wearing proper armor for once in a video game. Then there are a couple beastkins whom you furries can relate to, and Jan and Tia, not my thing, and this guy, Dionys, who, look, I gotta be honest, he needs to stop looking up ways to look fashionable on Quora. Then we've got my man Gilbert of the Breaker class, whom I'm sure his face reveal is sure to break the internet. And lastly, I'm a bit sad personally that I wasn't able to get Scarlet, as she's got a giant freaking laser cannons. I love lasers, I love big cannons, and big cannons shooting stuff out of them, I just can't get enough of. As we can see, Goddess Order has a decent variety of characters, with many more to come in the future. The banners are also split up, with the standard banner and a featured character banner, which use separate pull tickets, and it also costs 2,000 gems for a 10 pull. More importantly, on the featured banner, after 150 pulls, you can exchange for the banner character, and unfortunately, these points do not carry over to the next banner, and instead get converted into this faint memory crystal currency, which admittedly doesn't appear to be a very valuable currency. The featured banner character Luna will also be added to the standard pool after some time as well, and given how the standard banner has a guaranteed 80 pull SSR character, honestly the standard banner will get you more SSR characters in the long run. Frankly, I only recommend pulling on the featured banner if you can guarantee 150 pulls for the character you want. Otherwise, I actually highly just recommend saving up until you have 150 pulls to guarantee the character you really want. This is not the best gacha system, but it ends up being significantly better once we talk about the progression system. Your character's level caps are based on your Knight Order level, aka your account level. Each character can equip a relic, aka functionally a weapon in this game, and your relic level is also based on your Knight Order level. As you can see, leveling up your Potato Knight Order account level is key to powering up your characters. As for relics, aka functionally the weapon, you can only equip relics for your specific class, and on top of that, there are character exclusive relics. These relics are obtained in the shop with a special currency that is available through playing the game. Unfortunately, I cannot comment on the efficiency of obtaining this currency, but yeah, here it is. In terms of farmable armor, this is where you'll probably spend a decent amount of stamina in the endgame farming, as these will roll with random substats, although you can see these substats before you enhance them. Then you can level your skills as well with the typical skill material, and there are probably more nuances as you approach higher account levels, but as of my current account level of around 31 as of writing this script, this is what I've learned. Most importantly, I wanted to talk about the dupe system, which ties into why the earlier gacha system ends up being quite fantastic. You might have noticed that we were getting character shards, and getting dupes of shards gives you 60 shards for that character. Normally, shard systems are atrocious in gacha games, and I hate them, as they do many not so desirable things. They often reduce the rate of obtaining characters because you're obtaining their shards, they often increase the number of shards for each constellation/dupe breakpoint, and they're used to obfuscate your progress. However, this is actually the best case scenario for a shard system. where it actually works in the player's advantage. It costs 60 shards to unlock a character's, constellation or memory, I think it's called in this game. And each character can unlock 5 of these memories. And no, the cost to unlock these memories do not increase as you unlock more of them. It will always cost 60 memory shards for each memory. This means that you can either whale and pull the character plus 5 additional copies to max out their memories, or you could not whale and just farm most SSR characters' memory shards and memory echoes. That's right, you can actually farm their memory shards. At the highest difficulty level, it shows here that we will get a minimum of 3 shards for up to 2 to 3 characters per day. So if you do this every day on max difficulty, it could take you as little as just 20 days to obtain an effective dupe for these characters, which is very this is so player friendly. Now let's talk about the endgame, which I've only just reached barely, so this will be my first impressions of it. First, we have the gameplay mode Northern Front. This appears to be much more wave battle based and time challenged, favoring certain elements and teams that perhaps do good AoE damage for each cycle. The goal is to clear as many stages as you can and or potentially clear them as fast as possible. Next, we have the Night Order Grand Prix, aka the PvP in this game. And this is also the only instance of semi-auto battle that I've encountered in this game so far. You set a defense and an attack team, and when you attack an enemy, the enemy will be completely controlled by the AI. You, however, can partially control your team by swapping the characters in and out, but they will automatically use their abilities, so this is an interesting hybrid between semi-auto battle, I guess, and manual battle. And finally, my favorite endgame mode, the Black Rift, where it's basically an epic boss fight, with a couple warm-up waves before that. This will test your mechanical mastery of the game and your account power level and progression. Unfortunately for me, I was drastically underleveled, but felt a sense of accomplishment defeating the first wave, only to learn that there are at least 3 waves. There are, of course, plenty of other things to do in the game, such as some potential HoloLive rhythm games, elemental towers, and much more, but this is already a good variety of endgame content for both casual players and, more sweaty players alike. Fortunately, rerolling in Goddess Order is quick and efficient. Takes about 7 to 8 minutes a reroll, and each reroll you should input these coupon codes and claim your mail. This gives you 16 pull tickets plus 700 gems for 3 more pulls. Then you can just delete your account and try again. As for what characters to go for, it seems like all the standard banner SSR ranked characters appear to have a pretty decent role, and here's a tier list posted by Mr. Dole in the Goddess Order Discord. So let's wrap up this review that you ordered on Goddess Order with the good, the bad, and my final verdict. Goddess Order sports impressive pixel art, and it really scratches the right itch for those that enjoyed Crusader's Quest and other retro-style games. At the same time, it modernizes many mechanics so you get the retro without the retro quality of life. Speaking of quality of life, the quality of life in this game is overall pretty decent, with a story skip button for important events that also provides you a summary. There are also sweep tickets to sweep content that you've already cleared to quickly spend your stamina. Being able to farm character shards for dupes is obviously one of the best parts about the game. And the combat is surprisingly deep and fun, allowing for you to experiment, master mechanics, learn fights, and perfect combos, which really surprised me. Finally, the controls are great and responsive on mobile. As for the bad, sometimes there are not enough sweep tickets for free-to-play players, so you might need to spend a little extra time manually farming. The game appears to be mobile only, and honestly, playing on mobile for extended amounts of time, which by the way the footage gathered in this video is all from mobile, does take a toll on my wrists, and as such I actually prefer playing games on desktop, so yeah, native desktop client would be appreciated. Finally, I didn't get a whole lot of pulls just playing through the story. Although the creator client didn't have the pre-registration rewards or other various coupon codes and rewards, which you should follow their official social media for, actual players should be able to get more pulls than I was able to, at least through my playthrough. Also, I wasn't able to figure out what the true endgame gem and resource economy looks like, so there is also that. That is still a big mystery. Now, I'm personally not the biggest fan of the featured character banner gacha needing 150 pulls to guarantee the character, and those pulls being converted to a less desirable currency instead of carrying over to the next banner. And my biggest disappointment, personally, is that Pecora and Mori won't be playable characters. There will be this Hololive collab, of course, but they'll be NPCs, and you can obtain some exclusive relics, portraits, and profile frames from the collab, which is nice. But hey, can't complain, them being in the game at all is already a huge W, because any collab is better than no collab. So what's my final verdict? I came into Goddess Order fully expecting it to be another run-of-the-mill gacha game, but I came out of it with a much more positive impression than I expected. If you enjoy pixel graphics, 2D action combat, and the ability to farm character dupes that would normally only be accessible to whales, then Goddess Order is a very solid gacha game. And I actually do recommend giving it a try. It's available on Android and iOS, and there will be a link down below for you to check it out and to ensure you get in time to collect the pre-registration rewards. There will also be plenty of coupon codes distributed on their official social media, so stay tuned to get a bunch of free stuff in Goddess Order. Let me know what you think about the game down in the comments below, and if there's any crucial information you feel like I might have missed. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Want to Lose, signing out.